Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Just Read VI and I am back with another video. Welcome back you guys. Happy July. I'm so happy to be back. Yes, so happy summer, happy July. It's still summer. I'm going to the beach and I brought some of the beach for you guys again. So yes, I am going to be, this video is going to be fairly short because I'm only going to be discussing 3 books in this video. And it's another series. Remember, I promised you series this month. It is going to be the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. So yes, I'm so excited to be discussing these books because I was really excited to even just read them. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. The main focus of my channel is to share books and to encourage other people to read more and to discuss books really. So if you've read any of these books and any of my videos, definitely comment below your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. I'm currently I started the channel just to document my reading for the year. I said I was going to do a 100 book challenge. I'm currently doing that. I am on book 53 right now. Well, I'm on 54 because I've read 53 with this challenge, with this series. So yes, definitely stay tuned. I'm excited because I'm more than halfway there. It's been trying because I am busy and I've just been adding several stuff to my plate as well, but it's so fun discussing books, coming here, talking to you guys. It's freeing, yeah, share my thoughts about these books and then getting you guys feedback also. So yes, if you're new, welcome, and if you're just reading, you are back. I love you guys so much. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below. All right, so let's get into this review / discussion. So the first book, is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. This book was the start of it all. It started off a little slow. I was trying to understand where it was really going. Well, I'm not thinking about this one. This book started really good because I agreed with how she is as in not being different in her lifestyle. Like, she was boring and predictable, and she kind of wanted to do more and really experience life. So Get a Life, Chloe Brown, hence the title, right? This book was number 51 of my reads, and it was a good book. It was very spicy. I have to tell you guys, all of her books are spicy, like sexy. And as you read through the series, it gets more and more and more sexual and X-rated as far as the sex scenes. They are. Yeah, she didn't leave anything behind, especially in the third book, but we'll get to that. So, yeah, it's basically about Chloe, who's trying to get a life. She's trying to do more with her life instead of, she's struggling with her illness. And I like that. In each of her books, she speaks about specific issues. The main characters have something that they're trying to overcome, and they find helping each other or realize that they kind of even have a problem after like meeting each other and, communicating with each other. And, when you're around certain people, they bring certain things out of you. That's kind of what was happening in these books. And I really, really, really appreciated that. You weren't just reading, sorry, my slang accent. You weren't just reading a romance novel. You were reading like a romance novel with depth. She had depth and she did her research with all of them too. And I really, really appreciated that. So it just added to the value of the book, the storyline. So basically, Chloe's trying to get a life, and she ends up falling in love with this list that she makes. After she makes this list and she's completing it, with the start of the list, she ends up doing things. She finds somebody to do stuff with, which is Red, her love interest, and she falls in love with him. And, despite them being completely different, they work it out and they fall head over heels in love and they make it work. So beautiful book, a page turner, and hard to put down. I have to say that. It was really good. My likes was the character development. I feel like she did such a good job with the character development, and this isn't all her books. You'll hear that for each book. As for favorite character, I guess that's something new now I could bring up. As for favorite character, because these books really, I was like, wow, I like you. Red was my favorite character because I just love the way he loved her and the way he cared for her. I just thought that was so beautiful. So yes, that was my favorite. That was my likes. Dislikes, I didn't really have any dislikes with this book. My favorite part, oh my gosh, the makeup scene in the alley, that was over the top. Over the top. Like very, very out there. So yeah. Likes, oh, least favorite. When they got into that big argument and then he left her apartment. That was like, oh my gosh, you're both wrong, you know, when you miscommunication. So that, and then can everybody read this book? Absolutely. The sex scenes are a bit R-rated, so X-rated. I don't even know if X-rated is a thing, but it's up there. Like that's how sexual and spicy and sexy and a little raunchy these books were. This book, I saying these because all of them were that way, and it'll just heighten as you go, as you move forward to the next books. You're like, wow, okay. Would I recommend? Absolutely. This book was a great book. I love it. This book was probably my favorite. I'm gonna get into the second book. So yes. Oh, Just Read stars. Forget I Left Chloe Brown. 5 out of 5 stars. Phenomenal. She just did a beautiful job. So yes. Talia, good job. Well done. Alright, so the second book, book 2, which is number 52 of my readings, is Take a Hint, Danny Brown. So Take a Hint, Danny Brown is just, Danny, take a hint, this man wants to be with you. He wants you. Like, you don't understand? He's in love. Like, this isn't a game. This isn't, you know, for sure. Like, he really love you. So, a workaholic finding love. And he had his own issues. Oh, I didn't even get into Brett's issues from the other book. Check me out on Instagram and you will see my full review. So whatever I miss, you could catch on Instagram. I go in depth on there also. Alright, so my summary was a great book. I just love, like I said before, the message that's wrapped up. So this one, Take a Hint, Danny Brown, was really about a workaholic, and her love interest, Zafir, was struggling with overcoming anxiety issues and the grief of losing his father and his brother. So that's what this one was about, and them being able to help each other overcome those things. The reason how Danny was, I keep saying Chloe, Danny was able to overcome that was the genuine love and care from somebody else, which was Zafir, and seeing how fun life can be when you're not just in your head, just isn't always just in the books, you know. So she got to see that, and that was beautiful. And then another thing she struggled with was also the love factor. She just felt unlovable, like she wasn't gonna find love, or it wasn't gonna be genuine. So that was sad, but once again, Zafir to the rescue. So they both helped each other. She helped him, and it's so funny how it started. I'm not gonna give the whole book away, but it started so cute. And it started on the basis of a lie, and they just kind of rolled with it for his sake, and it worked out. You know, they fell in love, and you know, they were kind of just friends with benefits, you know, because it was a fake relationship, and they were just like, okay, well, we'll do the friends with benefits thing, while, well, I wouldn't even say friends with benefits, more like sexual partners. So they said they were kind of going to do that, and then when they broke up, when they ended the fake relationship, they would then, you know, be free of each other and stop the sexual, you know, intercourse. But that didn't work out that way. And he was a hopeless romantic, you guys. Like, oh my gosh, he was about romance novels and love and romance and happy ever afters, and I was just in love. Safe to say, you already know who my favorite character from this book is going to be, because we were like, I feel like, I was like, oh my gosh, Zafir, like, you're a clone of me. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I just thought that was so cute. So I love how the men love so much and care so much about the females in this. She did just such a good job with that. It didn't go unnoticed, Talia. I noticed it, and I really loved and appreciated it also. Alright, so they ended up falling in love despite their personal struggles that they were going through. My likes and dislikes, of course, Zafir was my favorite character. I just told you guys all about why. And the character development, you know, the depths that she went to showed Danny in the light of a workaholic, you know, Zafir with Duke wanting to help youths in the community because he had a nonprofit organization, struggling with anxiety, which a lot of people struggle with right now, and then grief. You know, it was just so nice. It was beautiful that she went to such a depth to talk about issues wrapped up in this romance novel. You know, I really appreciated that. Dislikes. Oh gosh, yeah. This is why this book is not getting a 5 out of 5 stars from me, because she had Aubert. So Danny was supposed to be, this is where the book kind of turns, the review shifts a little bit. Sorry guys. She mentioned like Aubert and witchiness, and that's a big no-no for me. Danny was supposed to be a witch, and she would like have certain things that's like, oh, you could use this grass and this thing, and you know, this for your headache or this, and then they would say witch, the word witch and Aubert would come up, and I was just so turned off by that. But I firmly believe if you are going to start a review, you have to, if you're going to do a review, you have to read a book. So I continued, and like I said, it was a good book. You heard me say countless nice things about it, but I just did not appreciate the Aubert and the witch stuff. That's a big no-no for me. So could everybody read this book? Once again, it was super sexual, so at your own discretion. But my reason for saying no, yes, I know, would be the witchcraft and the Aubert, the mention of all of that stuff. So yeah, at your own discretion. And you know, if I had known that, would I have been pressed and really excited to read? Probably not. At least not this one. But I feel like they're not all tied in. But if you read about one sister, you kind of want to read about the rest, especially since you're hearing about each of them in their other sisters' books, their siblings' books. So you kind of would want to, but I didn't appreciate that. Would I recommend? I don't really know, because like I said, you know, the witchcraft and Aubert stuff. But you know, if you're interested, then go right ahead, because it was a good book. Otherwise, I just wish you didn't put that in there. It was not needed at all. And when I say not needed, who am I really to say that? But I just, why? You know, why? All right, so that's my thoughts on that. Just read stars. I give this book 4 out of 5 stars, maybe 3. 4 out of 5 stars, because it was a good book, like I said. Everything else, you know, all checks, but I just did not appreciate that. So 4 out of 5 just read stars. And moving on to the third book of this series, Act Your Age, Eve Brown. So this book was good also. It was a beautiful love story. A few scenes from it reminded me, felt like I was watching a movie. That's how beautiful she writes. This is number 53 of my out of my 100 books that I'm going to be reading. So super excited. Yes, so Act Your Age, Eve Brown is a beautiful love story about Eve who needed to grow up. Hence her titles was spot on. Simple but still so complex as far as diving into the depth that were in her books. So she did a beautiful job with that. The depth in each of these books were great. I have to say that. A novel about two complete opposites falling in love. So he uptight, everything has to be perfect. He wanted to be, he struggled from abandoned issues, and she was autistic. So she's somebody who kind of was just like all over the place. Like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know. I'm gonna start this, but I don't think I'm gonna finish. If I don't finish, it's okay. I'm moving on to this next project. Oh, I'm doing that next week too. Yeah, no, I'm going back to doing this. That's how she was. Until her mother and father were like, you gotta figure this out, because what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? So she runs into him. He's the owner of an inn. She works for him, and they hit it off. They start falling in love. Some other things happen, but it was such a good book. I really enjoyed it. I think this book was the slowest of the three. It wasn't that much of a page turner, and it kind of had to get there. But it was still a really good book. She in the end was able to, in the middle of the book, really realize like I could do this. Like, this could be my life thing. This is something I could really be doing. Getting a career, and she really started acting her age and getting her life together. So it was so beautiful. And then he started being more laid back. and realizing you can relax, you don't have to be so uptight, you know, and they both helped each other in those regards. Because if you have somebody that's focused and driven and going places, and you use somebody or someone that's haphazard and you don't know whether you're going to come in, you kind of gonna merge and it's either gonna blow up, as in you're gonna take like little lessons, you're not gonna learn from them and be better, or you could and be better, and then they learn to be more laid back and not so uptight and not so focused all the time. So that was good. I would say this one was a must read. It was very good. Likes and dislikes. Of course, you know, like I said, all the men in these books are just so lovely. Jacob, I just love that when Jacob knew she was the one for him, he went all the way in. It wasn't a question anymore. And I'm a decisive person when it comes to certain things. Like, I will eat the same thing over and over and over and over again without trying anything else on the menu. Once that one thing hit and it tastes so good, like it hit my stomach and I like, oh my gosh, I don't want to eat anything else. I would eat that for the whole week. Like, that's how, like, yeah. So he's like me in that regard. He knew when he found that person, and this is the same thing. He knew when he found that person, she was it. And it was the same way for me with my husband. Like, there was nothing else. It was like, that's it. You know, we just wanted to do everything together, wants to be together all the time. And when you know, you know. And he's one of those people. So of course he's gonna be my favorite character. Dislikes, I did not have any dislikes with this book. I really liked it from beginning to end. My favorite / least favorite part. My favorite / least favorite part. My favorite part was when they both went after each other to confess their love and apologize for where they both went wrong. And she and him kind of met in the road because there was this bad traffic jam. And it makes you think of a movie scene where the two characters at the end of the movie find each other and they're apologizing about how silly they both were. And they kiss and they say, I love you. That's what that scene was for me. It was a movie scene. Tell me a line. So, yeah, I really like that. So that was my favorite part. Yeah. Could everybody read this book? Absolutely. This book was beautiful. It was such a beautiful love story. I would definitely recommend this book. It is X-rated. Like, there's the sex scenes. I'm not lying, you guys. She goes in. So yeah, definitely read at your own discretion. But I would still recommend. It was still a good book. The love story is still beautiful, and just read stars. This book gets 5 out of 5 stars for me. It was great. All right, you guys. So that wraps up this review. My thoughts on the Brown Sister series. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments. What's your summer reads currently? I'm excited to know. And like always, I will see you guys in the next video where I will be having some new reads to discuss with you guys. So yeah, July reads. So stay tuned. See you guys in the next video. Toodles!